Remember back in the 70s and 80s where daytime television was dominated by game shows and soap operas. Then came the 1990s and the 2000s, which was still dominated by soaps, but this time with syndicated talk shows and reality courtroom shows taking over the scene, followed by the late 2000s and the early 2010s, which was dominated by virtually the same, but this time reality dramas joined in the drama/madness themselves. And then it turns out, ladies and gentlemen, the modern era of television platforms, for example, etc. It looks like the syndicated talk show business and possibly in the future syndicated game shows may well and truly go out of business. Hello everyone, this is Tyrell Ordain, aka the Cricket Rockstar, welcoming you all back to my social media platforms. So you all may recall within the last few years, there was a number of first-run syndicated distributors, for example, Warner Brothers distribution, which had People's Court with Judge Marilyn Milian and the Judge Mathis show hosted by Judge Greg Mathis himself. The company Warner Bros. Distribution went out of the syndicated courtroom show business, or should I say went out of the syndication business altogether in early 2023, which led to the cancellations of both the People's Court and Judge Mathis in February 2023. Well, now 3 years later, NBCUniversal is doing the same thing. So last week Friday, news broke that the Steve Wilkos show has been cancelled after 19 seasons. And not just his show alone, Karamo Brown's show, Karamo, and Access Hollywood, which has been around since 1996 and has been hosted by Mario Lopez within the last several years, all have been given the boot. Now, keep in mind, folks, Karamo has been around for the last 4 or 5 years. As for Access Hollywood, they've been around since the late 1990s. As for the Steve Wilkos show, that's been around since 2006-07. The reasons why all of those shows are ending, it's because the time landscape television has changed a lot within the last 5-6 years, even more, with more local stations wanting more local news. Some of the local stations, of course, have gone independent, meaning breaking away from whether it's ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, or even the CW, etc. And daytime television, unlike in the old days, isn't suitable around this time where streaming platforms, for example, YouTube, Peacock, Hulu, Netflix, etc., have been taking over the reins. And very interestingly, folks, for those who have Fire Stick and Android and those stuff, here's one more thing that you guys need to be very mindful of. Just recently, Amazon, along with a few others, have been cracking down on the majority number of third-party apps in which people have been downloading for the last several years now. Talking about breaking away, CBS recently purchased Warner Brothers after Netflix withdrew from the bidding process. And just a couple of years ago, the same CBS dropped 8 of the CW affiliates from WPSG Philadelphia, WUPA Atlanta, KBCW San Francisco, KSTW Seattle, WTOG Tampa Bay, WKBD Detroit, and KMAX Sacramento, and WPCW Pittsburgh in September of 2023. Now that is 3 years ago, my dear friends. And the real reason why those networks broke away from the big networks is due to the fact they want to expand on local broadcasting, or should I say local programming, which includes live sports as well as programming from other Paramount properties. And just around this time last year, WPLG TV, aka Local 10 in Miami, Florida, parted ways with ABC in August of last year in 2025 to become independent after almost 70 years partnership with ABC. And not just them alone, Gray Media's WANF television in Atlanta also recently ended its 31-year partnership as a CBS affiliate to become independent to focus more on the local news, weather, and sports. In the next video, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be discussing something very important to all the Trinidadians who have cable and have been watching the main 4 networks for a good amount of years. But for now, it's goodbye.